In the summary, after the note of liquid assets, write down as a note working capital is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. Okay, so in case working capital is also asked, then we will apply this formula, current assets minus current liabilities. Now why is it so? Understand it. There are two types of capital. One is permanent capital and the other is working capital, temporary capital. Permanent capital is the one which is invested in fixed assets. So that money is blocked for long period of time. And working capital is the one which is required for day-to-day activities. Payment of telephone bill, electricity bill, then payment of salaries, wages of employees, purchase of raw material. So what amount of cash will be available in the business for day-to-day activities? Out of the current assets we will pay current liabilities and remaining amount will be available for this day-to-day activities. So working capital equals to current assets minus current liabilities. Did everyone understand this? Page 247, question number 8. From the following information, calculate current ratio and liquid ratio. Further write down also find, additional question write down, also find working capital. So we'll understand that concept from this question itself. We'll not have to solve one of the illustrations because of it. Okay. Now, since we have to find current ratio and liquid ratio, first of all in the question we'll mark all the current assets and current liabilities. Okay. So, Parik, stock, current assets, mark it as CA. Then Pooja, debtors, current assets, mark it as CA. Then Yashvi, cash and cash equivalents, current assets, mark it as CA. Yuvraj, furniture. So don't do any markings. Okay, it is a fixed asset, but it is of no relevance in finding current ratio and liquid ratio. Did you understand this? Khushi, bills payable, current liabilities, mark it as CL. The way short-term loan, current liabilities, mark it as CL. Nandini, bills receivable, current assets, mark it as CA. Bad debts reserve, what note did I make you write yesterday? Did we discuss current ratios formula?
No. Yes.
So, did I discuss the point of bad debt reserve?
No.
Okay, debtors we will always take after deducting bad debt reserve. The reason, suppose debtors are 50,000, bad debt reserve is 5,000. Then debtors 50,000 minus 5,000, 45,000 in outer column. Okay. Why should we take 45,000 and not 50,000? What are we finding in current ratio? Our ability to pay the liabilities within 1 year period of time. Now you expect that out of 50,000, 5,000 is doubtful to be recovered from debtors. So when you find your ability to pay the liabilities in 1 year period of time, will you include 50,000 of debtors in your ability or 45,000? 45,000, because you yourself expect that 5,000 you may not be able to recover from debtors. So when you are finding your ability to pay the liabilities, we will always take the debtors after deducting bad debts reserve. Okay. In the summary, write down this also as a note. In the above two ratios, debtors should be taken after deducting BDR and DR. If discount reserve in case is there, that also you'll minus. Because discount we expect to give to debtors in future means that much less money again we will be able to recover. Okay. So in this question, bad debts reserve marked as minus from debtors. In this question, bad debts reserve also marked as minus from debtors. Expenses paid in advance, Janvi. Current assets marked as CA. Mewadi creditors, current liabilities CL, and Shrishti outstanding expenses, current liabilities marked as CL. Did you understand it? So first we will find current assets and current liabilities, then we will apply the formula. Okay? So write down. First we find all the current assets. So stock 3 lakhs. Here's if you want to use the page, you can make it. Stock 3 lakhs. Then debtors 2,50,000. Cash and cash equivalents. Okay, debtors we have to write after deducting bad debt reserve. So 2,50,000 minus bad debt reserve 20,000 means debtors we will take 2,30,000. Then cash and cash equivalents. The next current asset directly bills receivables 75,000. 7,85,000 is current assets. Is everyone clear with it?
Yes, sir.
Now same way we'll find current liabilities on the right side. So bills payable 60,000. So 3,50,000 is current liabilities. Now current ratio can be obtained from this.
Yes.
Is everyone clear with this? So first answer, current ratio is equal to current assets divided by current liabilities. Current assets 7,85,000 divided by current liabilities 3,50,000.
2.24.
2.24 is to 1. Did you understand this? Proportion, it is expressed in proportion, so further you'll write is to 1. Anyone having any doubt in this? All are clear up till here? What is next required? Liquid ratio.
Yes.
Now liquid ratio means liquid assets upon current liabilities, and liquid assets means from current assets we will exclude
Stop.
stock and prepaid expenses, means expenses paid in advance. Did everyone complete up till current ratio? Completed? Raise your hand while still writing it. So now first we'll find liquid assets. Write down current assets 7,85,000. From that we will minus stock, that is 3 lakhs, and we will also minus prepaid expense, means expenses paid in advance. That is 60,000.
4,25,000.
So remaining 4,25,000 is liquid assets. Did everyone understand this? Now we can find liquid ratio. So second thing, liquid ratio is equal to liquid assets divided by current liabilities liquid assets 4,25,000 divided by current liabilities 3,50,000.
1.21.
1.21 is to 1. So everyone is clear with this? Any doubts in it? So remember, in these two ratios, when you take debtors, you always take them after deducting bad debt reserve, and if discount reserve is given, that also would be subtracted. Okay. What else is asked? I made you write extra. Working capital. So around working capital is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. So current assets 7,85,000
minus 3 lakh 50.
minus current liabilities 3,50,000.
4,35,000.
4,35,000 is working capital. Is everyone clear with this? Now one illustration I'll take up in the class. Illustration 13 on page 225. Look at illustration 13 on page 225, everyone. We are in it. From the following information of M Limited, calculate current ratio. See, current assets are given 1,50,000 and working capital is given 60,000. So can we find current liabilities or not?
Yes.
Like working capital is given 60,000. Current assets are given 1,50,000. So from this same formula, current liabilities can be obtained. And once we get current liabilities, then we can apply the formula of current ratio. Is everyone clear with this? Raise your hand who did not understand this. All are clear with it? So first we'll apply the formula of working capital. Now, working capital is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. Okay. Working capital is given 60,000. That is equal to current assets. How much are current assets? 1,50,000 minus current liabilities. Now current liabilities, if you bring on the left side, it will become plus. Okay, current liabilities on the left side will become plus. And they will be equal to meet by returning back. How will you find current liabilities?
1,50,000 minus 60,000.
Minus 60,000. 60,000 on the right side will become minus. So current liabilities are 90,000. Did everyone understand this?
Yes.
Now we can find current ratio. Therefore, current ratio is equal to current assets divided by current liabilities. Current assets 1,50,000 divided by current liabilities 90,000.
1.67 is to 1.
1.67 is to 1. So everyone is clear with current ratio and liquid ratio. Any doubts on this?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Now we take up with the next category of ratios. Solvency ratios. This was short-term solvency. It shows whether in 1 year we'll be able to pay the money or not. And solvency ratios indicate long-term solvency. After 1 year will we be able to pay the money or not. All the 4 ratios, I discuss the concepts first. Then we will write it. Okay. If you take out the summary in the beginning, you'll find 4 solvency ratios I make you write. Debt to equity ratio, assets to debt ratio, proprietary ratio and interest coverage ratio. First 2 ratios, very simple formulas you get from the name itself. And next two ratios, you get the formula from the meaning. So understand all the four. Like so far we have done 6 ratios and those formulas you perfectly remember.
Yes.
Gross profit ratio,
Upon sales.
gross profit upon sales into 100. Operating ratio, operating profit, operating cost, that is cost of goods sold plus operating expense upon sales into 100. Operating profit ratio, operating profit upon sales into 100. And net profit ratio, net profit upon sales into 100. That is profit after tax. Current ratio, current asset upon current liability, from the name itself you get it. Liquid ratio, liquid asset upon current liability. Now, debt to equity ratio, debt upon equity. Debt to equity ratio, so debt divided by equity. Here debt means borrowed capital, which you have taken from outsiders. And equity means owner's capital. So this ratio shows what is the proportion of borrowed capital against owners. Whose capital is more in the business? Owner has invested more money or he has borrowed more from outside. But from the name itself you get the formula. Meaning no need to remember. Okay, meaning it shows how much is borrowed capital against owner's capital. But formula is debt to equity, so debt upon equity. Any confusions with this content I'll discuss afterwards. Okay, what was the debt to equity ratio? Debt upon equity. Then next is assets to debt ratio. Exactly like debt to equity. So what will be the formula? Assets upon debt. Assets to debt ratio. So assets divided by debt. Okay. It shows that how much of assets are purchased by borrowing money from outside. So if you have 10 lakhs of assets and 6 lakhs of debt, means 60% of assets are purchased by borrowing outsiders' money and 40% of assets are purchased by owner's own investments. So assets to debt ratio basically shows what proportion of assets we have purchased from borrowed capital. Okay, but again no need to remember the meaning. Assets to debt, so assets divided by debt. Understood that? Here it will show assets are how many times more than the debt. Further, proprietary ratio. Now here you understand from the meaning. Like I told you, assets to debt ratio shows what percentage or proportion of assets are financed by borrowed capital. Simply proprietor means the owner. So proprietary ratio shows how much of assets are financed by owner's capital. What does proprietary ratio show? How much of assets are financed by owner's capital. So owner's funds upon assets. The formula is owner's funds divided by assets. You will remember it from the meaning. Proprietary ratio means proprietor. And proprietary ratio shows what proportion of assets are financed by owner's capital. Means whatever assets you have purchased in the business, how much owner has invested out of that. So owner's funds divided by total assets. Is everyone clear with it? And lastly, interest coverage ratio. It shows profit is how many more times than the interest. So that we can find out that even if in future profit goes down, will we be able to pay interest or not? Suppose profit is 5 lakhs. Interest we have to pay 1 lakh. Means we can say profit is 5 times of interest. Means in future even if your profit goes down by 5 times, until that point of time you'll be able to pay your interest. In future if it goes down more than 5 times, then you will default in payment of interest. So the more margin you have, more chances that you will not become insolvent. So generally this ratio is used by the money lenders. Before they lend you the money, they'll see that how much of interest is covered by your profits. Therefore interest coverage ratio. The more the number of times profit compared to interest, they'll be willing to give you the money. Is everyone clear with it? So interest coverage ratio shows profit is how many times of interest. Profit upon interest. Is everyone clear with it? Once again. First, debt equity ratio, debt upon equity. Assets to debt ratio, assets upon debt. Okay, then proprietary ratio shows what? How much of assets are financed by owner's capital. So what is the formula? Owner's fund upon assets. And interest coverage ratio shows profit is how many more times compared to interest. So profit upon interest. Now profit is a very vague term. For example, if you do sales minus cost of goods sold, you get gross profit. From that, you minus operating expenses, you get profit or earnings before interest and tax. That is operating profit. In operating profit, we don't include financial expenses. From that, you subtract financial expense, which is interest. You get profit or earnings before tax. From that, you minus tax, you get profit after tax. So when I say profit divided by interest, there are so many profits: gross profit, earning before interest and tax, earning before tax, profit after tax. Which profit divided by interest? We are comparing profit is how many times? Interest. So we need to compare this profit. If this profit, which is profit before interest and tax, from that only we are going to pay the interest. If this profit is 5 times or 6 times of interest, then in future if this profit goes down by 5 times, until that point of time we will be in a position to pay interest. So when we say profit is how many times of interest? Profit upon interest. Which profit? Profit before or earnings before interest and tax. Is everyone of you clear with it? Any confusions? Now the content. So debt to equity ratio, what is the formula? Debt upon equity. Assets to debt, assets upon debt. Proprietary ratio, what is the meaning? How much of assets are financed by owner's capital? So owner's funds divided by assets. And interest coverage ratio, how many times is profit compared to interest? So profit upon interest. But which profit? Earnings before interest and tax divided by interest. Okay. Now debt is that non-current liability. Format of company final accounts, you remember?
Yes.
So shareholders funds, non-current liabilities, current liabilities. Non-current liabilities is debt. Means in debt we will take only long-term liabilities. Short-term liabilities, current liabilities will not be taken into consideration. Is everyone clear with it? So what will debt include in all these ratios? Non-current liabilities. Equity and owners funds both are same. And there will be shareholders funds. Equity and owners funds both are same. And there will be shareholders funds. That is owners' money in the business. What does shareholders fund include? Share capital and reserves and surplus. So equity will also be share capital plus reserves and surplus. And in that proprietary ratio, owners fund will also be share capital plus reserves and surplus. Both will be one and the same. And rest we have already discussed. So only these two things you have to understand. Assets, the total of assets. Non-current assets plus current assets. Any confusion with this? So, in the summary, give the heading solvency ratios. First three ratios are expressed in proportion, and the last one is expressed in times. First three ratios are expressed in proportion, and the last one is expressed in times. Means interest coverage ratio is expressed in times. Debt equity ratio, assets to debt ratio and proprietary ratio are expressed in proportion, as we have done in current ratio and liquid ratio. Okay. So first one, debt to equity ratio, debt upon equity. This one is expressed in proportion. Understood this? What is debt and equity we'll write at the end because it is used in more than one formula. Total assets to debt ratio is equal to total assets divided by debt. This is also expressed in proportion. Proprietary ratio, it shows how much of assets are financed by owner's capital. So owner's funds divided by total assets. This is also expressed in proportion. And fourth, interest coverage ratio. It shows how many times profit is more than interest. How many times of interest is covered by profits. So profit upon interest, but which profit? Earnings before interest and tax divided by interest, but we will take interest on only long-term liabilities. Means any interest on short-term liabilities like bank overdraft etc. will not be included. Okay. We will include because in short term interest is not going to fall. Interest is going to fall only over a long period of time, and we are interested in knowing that how many times the profit may go down, still we will be able to pay the interest. So we include only interest on long term liabilities. Is everyone clear with these four formulas? Where now debt, in first and second formula, both the formulas, debt will be non-current liabilities. Okay, in first and second, both the formulas, debt will be non-current liabilities. That three things, LOL. Okay, long-term borrowings, other long-term liabilities and long-term provisions. All that will come in debt. Is everyone clear with this? Equity and owners funds both are same, and they are shareholders funds. Okay, equity and owners funds both are same. So equity and owners funds is equal to share capital plus reserves and surplus. Now in reserves and surplus, if statement of profit and loss has a profit, we would add. But in statement of profit and loss, if there is a loss, then if you remember I told you we take it in reserves and surplus itself as a negative figure. So in case if profit and loss account is having a debit balance or a loss, then instead of adding it you would minus. Okay, credit balance of profit and loss account means profit, we would add it. But if there is debit balance of profit and loss account or a loss, then we would minus. Is everyone clear with it? So debt is done, equity is done. Assets will include non-current assets plus current assets. Okay, non-current assets plus current assets. So understood this everyone? Anyone having any doubt with any of these four formulas? So look at question number 9. Page 247, question number 9. First of all, From the following information of H Limited, calculate debt equity ratio. Debt equity is asked, so first we'll do the markings related to debt and equity. Okay, whatever is included in debt means non-current liabilities, those LOL items, we'll mark it as D. And whatever is included in equity, share capital and reserves and surplus, will mark it as E. Is everyone clear with it? So long-term liabilities will come in, non-current liabilities, debt, mark it as D. Any confusion? Even long-term provisions will come in, debt, non-current liabilities, mark it as D. Debit balance, unlike debit balance of profit and loss account, just now I discussed, in reserves and surplus, if there is a debit balance of P&L account, you will minus. So mark it as E minus. What is bills payable? Current liabilities, so no relevance, don't do any markings, because we require for debt only non-current liabilities, so it will not be taken into consideration. Equity share capital E, that is in share capital. Even preference share capital E, that is also in share capital. Creditors is a current liability, so no relevance. Outstanding expense is a current liability, so no relevance. Any confusions with this? Now, first we'll find debt. So long-term liabilities, $8 lakhs. Then long-term provisions, $4 lakhs. 12 lakhs is debt. Any confusion in this? All the non-current LOL items will be included in debt. Then equity. Now equity will include share capital plus reserves and surplus. So share capital means equity share capital $8 lakhs plus preference share capital $2 lakhs, and since there is debit balance of profit and loss account, we have to minus debit balance of profit and loss account 50,000. 8 lakhs plus 2 lakhs, 10 lakhs minus 50,000, 9 lakhs, 50,000. Yes, stop that now. Equity is 9,50,000. Did you understand this, everyone? Now we can apply the formula debt to equity ratio. So that on therefore, yes, silence now. Debt to equity ratio is equal to debt upon equity. Debt 12 lakhs upon equity 9,50,000. 1.26 is to 1. It is expressed in proportion. In this summary, interest coverage ratio you can write in bracket is expressed in times. As interest coverage ratio is the last one expressed in times. First three are expressed in proportion. Okay. So 1.26 is to 1. Anyone having any doubt in this? Now, question number 10. Now, these are interesting questions because we need to find the things indirectly. So, be ready. From the following information of M Limited, calculate debt equity ratio. Again, debt equity ratio is asked. So we need to first mark debt, which will include non-current liabilities, and equity, which will include share capital plus reserves and surplus. So current liabilities, no relevance. Long-term provisions, debt, mark it as D. Long-term liabilities, liabilities, debt, D. Total assets, no relevance. Now, how will you find equity? Raise your hand. Common sense, logic, try to recollect the format of company final accounts. How will you find equity? As I said, equity will include shareholders' funds, share capital plus reserves and surplus. How would you find that? I should be able to get the answer because whichever other two places I have taught it, students have been able to answer it. Sarvesh?
Total assets minus all the
Correct. Understand the logic behind this. Same balance sheet format, what we did in chapter 3, I am writing in horizontal form instead of vertical to understand it. So, in balance sheet, liabilities, equity and liabilities include shareholders' funds, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. Assets include non-current assets and current assets. Okay. Now, what are the total assets given to you? So, total of equity and liabilities would also be 30 lakhs. We assume company's balance sheet has got tallied. So, if total assets are 30 lakhs, then total of equity and liabilities would also be 30 lakhs. Current liabilities are 4,50,000. Current liabilities are 4,50,000. And non-current liabilities include that 6 lakhs and 8 lakhs. 14 lakhs. Non-current liabilities includes that 6 lakhs and 8 lakhs.
14 lakhs.
So, can you find shareholders' funds or not?
Yes.
Total 30 lakhs minus current liabilities minus non-current liabilities. Remember, there are many questions in this chapter with this indirect method. For that purpose, keep this horizontal form in your mind. Same vertical format, but you remember it in horizontal way. That equity and liabilities includes 3 things, assets include 2 things. So any missing figure you must be able to find. Understood this?
Yes, sir.
We'll be showing it in proper manner. This is just a concept to understand, so at least show it in this question. Further questions, then we can directly write it. Okay? In exams, you need not do this. This is just for understanding. How would you find the shareholders' funds? And that shareholders' fund itself would be the amount of equity. Anyone who did not understand how to find the equity, everyone is clear with this? Okay, so this is a rough work which you'll remember for any of the missing figures, because majority questions of debt, equity, assets, debt and proprietary ratio will be such where directly the things will not be given to you. So keep this balance sheet in mind. Now, first we need to find equity. Debt is directly given. Okay, debt is directly given, so let us first obtain that. Long-term provisions are 6 lakhs. Then long-term liabilities are 8 lakhs. So debt is 14 lakhs. That is non-current liabilities. Okay. Now, as we discussed equity, first of all, total equity and liabilities will be equal to total of assets, that is 30 lakhs. Okay, total equity and liabilities will be equal to total of assets, that is 30 lakhs. Any confusion in this? From that we have to minus these two. So minus current liabilities, that is 4,50,000 minus non-current liabilities, that is debt of 14 lakhs. So if you minus 18,50,000, then 11,50,000 is the amount of equity. Did you understand this, everyone? Now we can apply the formula of debt to equity ratio. Therefore, debt to equity ratio is equal to debt divided by equity. Debt, that is 14 lakhs, divided by equity 11,50,000.
1.22.
1.22 is to 1. Did you understand this, everyone? Anyone having any doubt in this? Look at question 11. Yes, be attended. Page 248, question 11. First of all, from the following information of N Company Limited, calculate debt equity ratio. Again, we require debt and equity. Now see here, no information is of relevance. For example, creditors are current liability, no relevance. Bills payable is current liability, no relevance. Outstanding expenses, current liability, no relevance. Non-current assets, no relevance. Current assets, no relevance. Total liabilities, no relevance. Means debt also we have to find indirectly. Equity also we have to find indirectly. Raise your hand. First of all, how would you find debt? How would you find the amount of debt? Raise your hand. Only 3 people in the class. So easy concept, also only 3. Renuka?
Total liabilities minus creditors, bills payable and outstanding.
Correct. Total liabilities minus current liabilities. Total liabilities will include these two. Non-current liabilities and current liabilities. So from total liabilities 10 lakhs. If you minus current liabilities, creditors, bills payable and outstanding expenses, then will you get debt or not? Total liabilities are 10 lakhs. Current liabilities you can see are 4 lakhs. 1,60,000 plus 1,40,000, 3 lakhs plus 1 lakh, 4 lakhs. Out of 10 lakhs, current liability 4 lakhs. So non-current liabilities 6 lakhs. That is debt. Raise your hand who did not understand this. Raise your hand, how will you find equity? Why so few people? Equity now is exactly same way, so you must be able to answer it. Anyone else? Charuda?
Non-current assets plus current assets minus total liabilities.
Yes. Non-current assets plus current assets will give you total assets. That will be same as total equity and liabilities. From that, if you subtract total liabilities, what you will get? Shareholders' funds. That is your equity. Did you understand this? So always keep this balance sheet in your mind. You'll be able to get it. Okay? Let us make it here also so that you understand it. equity and liabilities and assets. This will include shareholders' funds, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. This will include non-current assets and current assets. Okay. Now, here current liabilities are 1,60,000, 1,40,000 and 1,04 lakhs. Can you see that, everyone? Creditors, bills payable and outstanding expenses, these three are current liabilities, okay? Non-current assets are 12 lakhs. Current assets are 10 lakhs. And what do you mean by total liabilities? Non-current plus current. So total liabilities are given as 10 lakhs. Understood this? So first of all, what do you mean non-current liabilities? 10 minus 4? 6. Did you understand this? Out of 10 lakhs, 4 lakhs are current liabilities. So 6 lakhs are non-current liabilities. And then 22. From that, if you subtract 6 and 4, then can you get shareholders' funds, that is equity or not?
Yes.
Understood this? Now let us present it properly. So this is just a rough work. Wherever you get confused, make this balance sheet, you'll get the missing figures. Okay? How will we find debt? Total liabilities 10 lakhs minus current liabilities in that creditors 1,60,000, bills payable 1,40,000, outstanding expenses 1 lakh. Means 4 lakhs are current liabilities. If you minus that, then 6 lakhs are non-current liabilities, which is debt. Is everyone clear with this?
Yes, sir.
And regarding equity, non-current assets and current assets will give you total assets. Non-current assets 12 lakhs plus current assets 10 lakhs. So total assets 22 lakhs. And total assets will be equal to total equity and liabilities. So from that, if you minus total liabilities, which are given in the question as 10 lakhs, then equity will be 12 lakhs. Is every one of you clear with this?
Yes, sir.
And now we can apply the formula of debt equity ratio. Therefore, debt to equity ratio is equal to debt upon equity. So 6 lakhs upon 12 lakhs,
0.5.
0.5 is to 1. Is every one of you clear with this?
Yes, sir.
And last question for today. Question 12. Be real. From the following information of our company limited, calculate total assets to debt ratio. Now total assets to debt means we require total assets and debt. So accordingly we do the markings. Preference share capital, no relevance. Equity share capital, no relevance. Reserves and surplus, no relevance. Non-current liabilities, no debt. Mark it as D. Non-current liabilities are debt. Current liabilities, no relevance. Raise your hand. How will you find total assets? Debt is available. Now this is something very, very simple. How will you find total assets? Kathy?
So we will add preference share capital, equity share capital, reserve and surplus, and non-current liability and liability.
Everything you'll add. Because total of assets will be equal to total of equity and liabilities. And equity and liabilities will include shareholders funds, that is equity share capital, preference share capital, reserves and surplus. Then you'll add non-current liabilities, then you'll add current liabilities. You'll get total of equity and liabilities, and that itself will be equal to total of assets. Did you understand this? Then we can apply the formula. So write down preference share capital
£6
6 lakhs, equity share capital 10 lakhs, reserves and surplus 2 lakhs, non-current liabilities 4 lakhs, current liabilities 4 lakhs, so 6, 16, 18, 22, 26 lakhs is total equity and liabilities, which will be equal to
total assets.
total assets. Now we can apply the formula. So assets to debt ratio is equal to total assets divided by debt. Total assets 26 lakhs and debt is that non-current liability
4 lakhs.
4 lakhs.
6.5.
That is 6.5 is to 1. So understood this everyone?
Yes, sir.
So remaining questions on solvency ratios will take up tomorrow and will understand the formulas of activity ratios. Okay? Yesterday you had illustration 1 to 10. Any confusions in them? No. They are very small and easy questions. Now today illustration 11 to 20 except 13 which we have done in the class.
Today we completed our index number
Yes.
assignment.
Index numbers assignment is over, na? Now